It's just a little over a week until the U.S. presidential election, with polls showing a very close race in the final days. The strong lead that Hillary Clinton enjoyed over Donald Trump began narrowing even before the FBI's bombshell announcement on Friday that it's investigating hundreds of thousands of newly discovered, you guessed it, emails related to Clinton's time as Secretary of State. Again, we have scandal and hints of conflicts of interest that have the U.S. talking. Take a listen.
It won't change my vote. It does irritate me considerably because of the reactions to something that's not news.
I think it will affect people's votes. People are very much concerned about what's going on, and people have to make their decision now.
I don't know who I'm going to vote for, but, you know, at least we need somebody in there that's going to be truthful. You know, if you can't be truthful on emails, how can you be truthful to the American public?
I think these emails have been just ongoing for the past election, and so it's not going to change my vote. So let's go Hillary.
Leave her alone. It's not like it's top secret stuff on her emails. Leave her alone. You keep bugging her about some damn emails. Leave it alone. Drop it. Dead it. She's still gonna get elected, because I tell you one thing, if Donald Trump get elected, I'm moving back to Africa.
All right, as you can see there, the opinions are strong. Well, speculation is running wild on Twitter as to what these emails may contain or may not, and whether or not that they will affect the outcome of the election, which is, of course, just 8 days away. Now, the candidate herself came out strongly against the announcement, calling it vague and inappropriate, adding simply that FBI Director Comey owes the American people an explanation. Donald Trump, never shy to share his opinions on social media, also reacted, stating that Hillary and the Democrats loved and praised FBI Director Comey just a few days ago. Original evidence was overwhelming. The investigation should not have been delayed. And both camps are urging the FBI to release more information or release the emails themselves. Republican Vice Presidential candidate Mike Pence called on the FBI to immediately release all emails pertinent to their investigation. Americans have the right to know before Election Day. More interesting is that politicians and pundits on both sides of the aisle are criticizing Comey's decision. One is former Republican Congressman Joe Walsh. He tweeted that, look, I think that Comey should have prosecuted her back in July, but what he just did 11 days before the election is wrong and unfair to Hillary. And the Democratic Senate Minority Leader Harry Reid of the Senate is now saying that Comey's actions could have broken a law that forbids government employees from partisan politics. Through his partisan actions, FBI Director Comey may have broken the law. With just over a week to go until Election Day, Clinton's emails keep coming back on this Halloween to haunt the Democratic candidate. Well, I'm joined now by Gary Nordlinger from the Graduate School of Political Management at George Washington University in the U.S. Capitol, in the epicenter of yet another scandal. He is a seasoned political commentator. You don't know whether you should be crying or you should be smiling when you're dealing with these email scandals, Mr. Nordlinger. What do you know? Yeah, go ahead.
No, I agree with you. Just when you think, I thought there would be a Hillary October surprise. I thought it would be from President Putin via WikiLeaks, not from Anthony Weiner via the FBI.
Well, I mean, now we're talking about Anthony Weiner, Weingergate, and we've got a lot of people equating it with Watergate. Even Woodward today, of Woodward and Bernstein fame, said that there's no way that the two can be compared. And yet, a lot of Americans are doing that. But why do you think Americans are comparing the two?
Because for the last 30 years, every time there has been a whiff of scandal, gate's been put on it. In the Clinton days, Watergate, Hairgate, Filegate. So the true magnitude of the real Watergate scandal has been trivialized by the way we've misused the word gate ever since.
And could you say that we here in the media, that we are, part and parcel of this problem?
Oh, heavens, no, no, no. It's whoever the political opponent is. In the Bill Clinton administration, it would be the Republicans that were calling it White Watergate, Filegate, Haircutgate even. But, in the Bush administration, George H.W. Bush, the Democrats were calling it Irangate, for example. So, as I say, I think the politicians themselves have misused the term to the point where it's weakened what was a very, very serious constitutional crisis.
I don't know if you were able to watch the Sunday political talk shows in the U.S. yesterday. I watched several of them, and I was shocked at not only the amount of time that was given to this email story, but also just the way the story was presented. It was presented as if we were dealing with a crisis that could approach Watergate, as if we were dealing with criminal charges, for example. I mean, the reality is we do not know what is even inside these emails.
No, we don't.
But who's responsible, though, for blowing it up? I mean, I'm pointing the finger at, my colleagues. We're making a big deal out of something
No.
No?
No, I disagree with that.
Okay.
Listen, I think the FBI director was between a rock and a hard place. Last summer, he told the Congress that, look, the investigation has been completed. If anything changes, I'll let you know. Now, what really surprises me is that apparently the FBI agents discovered these emails in early October, but it was only last Thursday that it got up to the level of the director, which absolutely amazes me it would take that long to get to him. But I think once he had that information, he had the obligation to give it to the Congress.
Well,
and he's been very, very clear. He's not saying there's been any misbehavior or anything else. It's just, holy cow, there are all these other emails that we've discovered that we have to take a look at. So we are reopening the investigation.
Okay. There have been some rumors circulating in Washington that it was the Clinton campaign that made it so difficult for all of these emails to be handed over. That's the reason why these emails have taken so long to get to the director of the FBI. I mean, that makes the campaign look, even if they're not trying to hide something, it does leave a bitter aftertaste, doesn't it?
Well, listen, it hurts the Clinton campaign in two very important ways. One is it once again reminds people of what they don't like about Clintons, that sort of slick Willie aspect that you never get the genuinely true story from the Clintons. Secondly, it's a terrible distraction to them in the closing days of the campaign. When Donald Trump keeps his mouth shut and doesn't say thoughtless things, he pulls even with Hillary Clinton or even ahead. You saw that in August. And this is giving him another chance to do the same, assuming he doesn't say thoughtless things. He is now even with Hillary in the national polls. And a lot of the toss-up states are once again, very, very hard to call.
I want to ask you about the notion of the elections being rigged. 42 states have asked the Department for Homeland Security to assist them and to help them ward off hackers and hacker attacks on their voting technology and machinery. Does that raise any warning flags to you in talking about a November 9th with an indecisive election result?
I don't think it'll be an indecisive election. I don't think it'll be an indecisive election because of massive hacking across the 50 states. Because, we don't have a national election in the United States. Because
Right.
of the Electoral College, we have 50 states that happen to hold their elections on the same day. If Oklahoma goes Democratic, which it never has in memory, then there's some problems with the election. I think if you have an indecisive election, it'll be far more like 2000, where, you have a key state like Florida, where one candidate has a 400-vote lead over the other.
All right, Mr. Northlinger, we're going to have to wrap it up. We certainly do appreciate you, though, taking the time to share your insights. Gary Northlinger there with George Washington University talking about the email scandals that just won't go away. Thank you very much. Well, tomorrow is Tuesday, exactly 1 week until Election Day. Our special coverage leading up to Election Day kicks off tomorrow. Now, part of that is the answer to the question that we've been asking you throughout this campaign. What kind of America do you want? Now, here's a sample of some answers which tackle the state of the American dream.
America, we talk about the American dream, basically, and what if you work hard, you can do anything that you want. That's what every kid in America is told. I just want that to be true, that with a little bit of hard work and pulling yourself up by your bootstraps, you can do anything.
I want an America where people come first, before profit. Our healthcare system is still a for-profit industry. There's no profit in curing people. There's only profit in keeping them sick.
I am America. And being America, I'm all about freedom and the fact that I have the abilities as well as infinite doors of opportunities.
I want an America where children can have the same kind of opportunities that I had. As a son of 2 former sharecroppers who didn't even have a toilet or running water. But the America that I had gave me an opportunity to end up a Phi Beta Kappa member of Congress and a lawyer.
You can do whatever you want over here. Look at me. I started this business like 20 years ago. Because one pick up watermelons and now you can see.
My name is Julian Michael. I'm from New York City. I'm a celebrity numerologist hypnotherapist.
My name is Julie McGregor. I live here in Baltimore City. I am now disabled, but prior to that, I was a legal secretary in law firms in Washington, D.C. for 30 years.
My name is Matt Soden. I am 29 years old. I live in Des Moines, Iowa.